little wheelie off that. Try to hit that every time I come through here. The Yamaha TW200. Let's talk first impressions. So when we were initially looking at getting a bike for my wife, you know, I'd done quite a bit of pre-shopping and, you know, looking at what she might want and, you know, kind of talking her through, you know, what kind of intentional riding we wanted to do, you know, some of this off-road type stuff, you know, some gentle trails, you know, some moto camping. So we knew we wanted something in the dual sport vein, or at least something that would feel, you know, relatively lightweight and comfortable to ride off-road, but not necessarily a dual sport per se. And I've got a KLX 300, so, you know, my initial kind of leaning was toward the KLX 230S, which has a pretty short seat height. My wife's 5'4", so she's not tall. And of course I had this in mind as kind of like, I'd really like to have a TW200 just because they're so cool and retro and everybody loves them. But I assumed she was going to go for the bike that looks, you know, kind of like mine. They've got a cool gray color that they come in these days, and it's just a good looking motorcycle. But when I showed her some pictures online, and, you know, as we were kind of getting her more talked into riding with the family, she took one look at the TW in person and was like, that's it, that's the one, that's what I want. And so I didn't expect her to kind of have that that reaction to it. I kind of find it a little bit charmingly ugly. I don't find it, you know, particularly like cool looking outside of like a retro viewpoint, if you will. And so I was pretty surprised that she liked it, and kind of secretly stoked as well, because I kind of wanted her to get a TW and just assumed that she wouldn't. You know, and if anybody's looking to buy one of these things, you know, if you just looked at the spec sheet of, let's say, I think that like the most comparable thing is going to be the, you know, the KLX 230S. You know, I think spec sheet wise it's better in every way. Better suspension, it's more narrow and easier to sit on probably, more power, fuel injected, ABS, I mean, you name it, and it's comes in about almost the exact same price tag as what the KLX, the TW200 does. I think we were out the door right about $6,000 here in the US, which is not little money. I mean, that's a lot of money. I think, you know, 5 years ago these were $4,500 out the door, but, you know, COVID in the world being what it is today, things have gotten a lot more expensive. But yeah, I think if you just looked at the spec sheet, this isn't the bike you would pick. And secondly, I don't think that you would, you know, think that when you get on it you're going to have a good time based on, you know, sub 15 horsepower. I don't know what kind of torque numbers. I don't know, maybe 16, 17 foot-pounds of torque. You know, old school suspension, big fat wide seat. You know, it looks slow, and it is slow. I look at it and I go, I'm not going to have that much fun riding it. Man, I was wrong. We've got coming up on 350 miles on this thing. Probably 200 of those are my wife. About 150 me, mostly, you know, back roads like this. Haven't got it out on any serious trails yet. You know, mostly pretty minor stuff. You know, some steep rocky hills, maybe at the worst. So I am looking forward to getting it out and doing, you know, something a little bit more intense. Oh man, this loose gravel. This thing does so well on loose gravel compared to the KLX. And it's probably just because I'm a short rider and that's a tall bike, and you know, I don't have a ton of off-road riding experience. But you know, I don't think you would pick this one based on the specs. But you know, after you watch a bunch of YouTube videos and you hear everybody talk about how cool they are and how fun they are, I think this is the bike to get at this price range if you're looking for a dual sport. You know, anything under 250 cc's isn't going to really like the interstate anyway. This thing barely likes the highway, and you wouldn't want to be on it for more than, you know, 20 miles or so, I think, at a time. You know, more than that, it's pretty buzzy. And it's just, you know, you're kind of working it hard too. I've had it up to 70, and that's, you know, that's all she's got with 230 pounds on her. But I seriously think that this should be your purchase. I haven't ridden a KLX 230S, but I do own the 300, which is a different bike, no doubt. And if I was getting my first dual sport and just getting into motorcycling, unless you're 6 foot tall, if you're 6 foot tall, I would get the you know, the 300L, CR300L from Honda, or the KLX 300. And really, either one of those are awesome bikes. Just grab the one that you want. But if you're 5'8" like I am, or even shorter, get the TW200. This bike will do so much fun stuff, and it's just awesome. I cannot wait. I've got a Kimimoto rear rack that I need to put on it, and I've bought some Tusk. They're the soft bags, not the Excursion. I think the Expedition. I might be getting those names mixed up. We haven't got those put on yet. But my son and I are going to ride Adventure Palooza in Missouri at the end of this month. And we're kind of prepping this bike for that. My KLX is already prepped, and I've done some moto camping in it. I didn't get any video of that because I didn't bring my SD card with me like a goof. Trying to get better at that and always have a spare one on me. But man, I think this is the bike to have if you're a short rider and you've never ridden before. If you've ridden before, you're going to want a little bit more power. No doubt if you're going dual sport route, the 300s are the pick to have. That's what I went with, and I'm certainly glad I got it above this. It is a better motorcycle in every way. Fuel injected, more power, suspension is really significantly better. And even at 5'8", when I stand up on this thing, I'm not tall. My inseam is pretty short, like 29. I'm leaned over, you know, trying to ride this, so standing up is not comfortable. Now, my wife says when she stands up, it's perfect for her. So again, she's 5'4", 5'3", and she's loving that. So more comfortable for her. So if you've got any motorcycle time on you and you're wanting to get into this moto camping, dual sport, adventure riding stuff, and you want something lightweight and don't want to go with a middleweight adventure bike like the Tenere or Touareg, and you want to stay in that 7,000 and under range, I definitely think it's the KLX 300 if you've got some experience under your belt. And if you don't, you're a brand new rider, and you're 6'10" and under, or 5'10" and under, this is the bike to have. Hands down, the TW200. My son loves it. He's about 5'5" at this point, and it's like the perfect bike for him to just get introduced to the street and, cruise around the neighborhood a little bit and, take his first kind of adventure ride on. So yeah, we're looking forward to a lot. We're going to do, some TW adventure rides, some reviews. We're not going to mod this one too much. Wife really kind of likes the stock look. We did put the Tusk hand guards on, which kind of, I'll be honest, fit funky due to the weird handlebar bends. And we put these cheap Amazon lights on and wired those into the high beam. And with the exception of the racks that we're going to put on, that's really all we plan on doing to this thing, and just leaving it stock. And then taking it on adventures. I want to progressively get it on some harder trails. I do want to take it on some overnights. I just think that's, it's just a cool factor. I know my wife is kind of excited about being able to do some overnights together. So I'm really looking forward to it. So, stay tuned for some more TW content. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell us what you'd want to see the TW do. Within reason, we'll definitely kind of try to put it to to the test, if you will. But we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Go have some adventures, man. Whatever that looks like for you and your family, get moving and get having a good time. God bless.